in Canada right now?
It was a story, and I tell you what, I've never actually got to some of his disses in which Drake must have forgotten something, Kevin. He's not an NBA player. Like, he's talking about DeMar DeRozan, about how we got the chip and we hosted the parade. You did as much as I did, Drake. Mm-hmm. You did as much as I did, like, for the Toronto Raptors. Like, you sitting courtside didn't help them win the championship. Like, this guy going after LeBron, going after DeMar, so I might be the only Canadian that says, nah, I'm not down with Drake. I'm on Team Kendrick. But that's another story, all right? Yeah, that's another story. But there is sort of another little game going on tonight that people are talking about. Game 7, the two best words in sports. Game 7, Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens. And I'll tell you what, history has not been kind to the Buffalo Sabres guys in Game 7s. They've only won once, Kevin, in franchise history. They're 1-6 in Game 7s. They shook it up. They stayed in a hotel last night.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's overthinking it. You're at home. You're supposed to be the better team. See, I don't like that. Do you like that out of Buffalo?
I'm actually somewhat surprised they weren't doing it yet, to be honest. Teams do this, Kevin. Teams do this in the National Hockey League. Normally, it's like semifinals, like sometimes the finals. Listen, you can't take players away from their families for 8 weeks. So you're not going to do it in the first round. Second round is a little bit, but you see Lindy Ruff says, yeah, second round, we're going to a hotel. We're going to a hotel. You get away from the distractions, Kevin. I don't dislike it. I know a lot of people out there are talking about, Buffalo were panicking because they stayed in a hotel last night. That's why I brought it up, but I don't have a problem with it. Listen, you're a recently married man. You've got a couple of dogs at home right now, Kevin. Yeah. Are you, you know what I'm saying? There's distractions. You're playing a Game 7. You can't worry about, like, the puppy, and you can't worry about other sort of internal noise. You want to be solely focused on the task at hand, and you can't do that at home. I don't have a problem with them staying in a hotel.
You know what? I got to now run back through my best bets since we've acquired the puppy. Has there been any dip? It's something I got to think about.
Has it taken a hit?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're performing quite as strong, Kevin.
I'm dancing around with a puppy right before the show starts. It's points are being made here, I think. And I got to tell you,
making your second guess about the hotel thing. You're like, you know what, God, this guy's kind of right.
Listen, but not only is Buffalo Montreal a huge game, and I'm not downplaying it in any capacity, but man, Western Conference Finals Game 1 feels massive tonight between Oklahoma City and San Antonio as well, Gabe. I don't know about you. But sometimes we get, it's like, it's the playoffs and everything feels some level of big. Thunder Spurs, to me, Game 1 feels monster tonight here. SGA is going to get the MVP award in front of the crowd as well. Wemby, who finished third, will be sitting right there. I mean, this feels huge.
Oh, it really is. And I got to tell you as well, how about them Cleveland Cavaliers?
No,
how about them Cavs? Yeah. How about them Cavs? And if I'm the New York Knicks, I wanted the Detroit Pistons, not this Cleveland Cavalier team that might start to play a little bit looser now moving forward. A couple of albatrosses have been knocked off their back, and now they can just go up there and play basketball. I think the Final Four is great. I think that this series is great. I don't know if these two are on a collision course, but they kind of were. San Antonio has lived up to the hype, but let's be real. San Antonio's ahead of schedule, right? Mm-hmm. A good year for San Antonio. Van Gundy talked about it during the broadcast, so I'm sure I'm not like copying this, but we all know. A good year for San Antonio this year was, they're going to make the playoffs, right? They got to make the playoffs in Wemby's second year, not win the championship. And they have as good of a chance as anybody. If the San Antonio Spurs beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's not like they're going to, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to win the championship.
They'll be favored in the finals. They'll be favored against either New York or Cleveland. They'll have home court in that series.
Oh, it's fun, this. You've got Wemby. You've got SGA. Chet Holmgren was kind of dominated by Wemby. That's been one of the keys. Like, Holmgren can't, deal with them. For whatever reason, he's just super overwhelmed. Jalen Williams played in, 3 of the 5 games that they played this year. The Spurs won 4 of the 5.
Yeah.
I don't want to overreact to that, Kevin, and I also almost think that that's like a bad thing for the Spurs because Oklahoma City have these guys circled, bro. Oklahoma City wanted this. These younger players sort of punked them a bit during the NBA Cup and around Christmas time. Now it's payback. Now it's for real. And we're going to find out just how ready San Antonio are. Can't wait to see how it plays out.
But, Gabe, one thing that I remember you and I talked about at the very beginning of the playoffs, remember how we were talking about the Cavs-Raptors regular season sample didn't help us a lot because someone major was injured in every single game? It was like, oh, Mobley didn't play. It was before the Harden trade. Scotty was out. The Thunder, you said they were the healthier team in a lot of those games that they lost to San Antonio. Like, Wemby was coming off the bench.
They had their full lineup.
Like, you can't dismiss those games. I'm not saying you are, but like they matter to me. They do. And if it went the other way,
but you know as well as I do, a game in December isn't the same as a game in May right now.
It's not.
It's different.
But the Spurs are not, like, let's be fair. The Pistons are now going to be a team that we look at as they tried really hard, and that's how they won 60 games. Credit to them. That's not who the Spurs are. The Spurs aren't a team who tried hard and got to 60 wins. The Spurs are really good. And they did have an upper hand on OKC, and I think some of it is what make the Thunder special is what makes the Spurs special, right? Just a bunch of fast, up and down, youth, defensive activity. Like, that's who they are. It's who OKC is. It sets up for an incredible series, I think, here in the Western Conference Finals. Super, super excited for it. We've got a pretty good baseball board tonight as well. Like, you want to talk about just kind of setting the stage here tonight. Like, all of a sudden, the Dodgers get red hot again, right? Just what they needed, just what the doctor ordered in terms of the Angels. Ohtani looks great. And I'm not doing any panic, I promise. But, like, Yamamoto's having a quiet, not the season you would have thought, you could argue, Gabe, for LA. I think the Padres are there. You know better than me, but I found them in recent years to be their main rival. These teams have the same amount of losses, right, Gabe? Like, this is a big series between these teams.
They are. San Diego has become the Dodgers' rival. Yet, you know what it's like. When you're a good team, everybody's your rival, right? Nobody likes you. Everybody's going for you. But the San Diego stuff sort of became personal. But Los Angeles gotten the better of San Diego for the most part in these series. Like, if you'll notice, San Diego beat the Dodgers in the playoffs like 3-4 years ago, whatever. That's their claim to fame, and they still hang on to it. But for the most part in these big series, San Diego will grind away, Kevin, climb the ladder, play the Dodgers, lose 2 or 3 or 3 or 4, and sort of like rinse and repeat, have to do it all over again. I wonder about fatigue. You and I talk about hockey players playing too much. Look at all the baseball Yamamoto was playing over the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Right? A lot of baseball. Back-to-back World Series. Japanese pitchers only pitch every 6 days in Japan. He's adjusted to North American life. WBCs, World Series, playoffs. So I wonder if fatigue has just kicked in a little bit for him as well. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been dominant, Kevin. I can't disagree with that. Like,
if you look at it, Yamamoto pitched 37 innings of playoff baseball. That's a lot a lot of innings, right?
Yeah, good point. Look, he came in the World Series like all the time. He was like putting his hand up in the bullpen, put me in. Give me the ball. I'm going to go in. I'm going to go. And they were like, dude, are you crazy? No, put me in. I'm okay. Looks like he's paying the price for it a little bit right now.
Yeah, and I think it sets up for a really fun series. Yankees-Blue Jays is a big series, man.
Another one.
It is. Like, the Yankees were on cruise control. All of a sudden, Rays are creating some separation, right? And Toronto is trying to crawl back into this thing. So it's a really, really great, and we got some WNBA action that we'll be breaking down as well. Like, must win strong. It's game 4. Dallas Wings have to show up tonight against the Washington Mystics.
I don't trust them laying the points. The Mystics have been pretty good on the road so far this year too, Kevin. They've stolen a couple.
Sonia Cintron looks like a superstar as well. We'll break it all down with the guys right here on SportsGrid. All right, guys, game time decisions on a Monday night, man. And we just have two monster games carrying this slate in Buffalo, Montreal, game number 7, as well as, of course, Oklahoma City and San Antonio, game number 1. We've got tomorrow. I can't wait to get into the Eastern Conference Finals. That's going to be a ton of fun. Again, we're in a great rhythm right now in this sports calendar. But look, I'm going to bend the knee to a game 7 a little bit here. We're going to get to both of these games, obviously, but I want to really start with Buffalo and Montreal. And Gabe, let's start with this. Take me back to game 6, 3-1. Like, Buffalo scoring first, I imagine, bothered no Canadian fan. Buffalo scored first, I think, in almost every single game this series. So that's not a story. But 3-1 at home, chance to close this thing out. 8-3 final score for the Sabres on the road, Gabe. What was your reaction to that game 6 performance?
The Buffalo Sabres, my reaction is Lindy Ruff did a great job. That Lindy Ruff had these guys ready to play. And as you stated, they keep on scoring the first goal. I mean, they've scored the first goal now in 5 of the 6 games coming into tonight. And they immediately scored a quick goal. The Canadians sort of bounced back. The Canadians, it's a problem playing at home for them. It really is. They buy into the mystique. They buy into the emotion in the building. They buy into the hype and everything. But when it's all said and done, Kevin, I always find in hockey, I would much rather lose 8-3 than 2-1 in double overtime, right? You lose 8-3. I mean, this is it, right? You were humiliated. And the Canadians aren't good enough. They're not good enough to make the mistakes that they do and count on their goaltender all the time. They've always done this, going back to the Patrick Waugh days, to the Carey Price days, to now to Dobish. I mean, they won a game 7 against Tampa with 9 shots on goal. On Saturday night against Buffalo, they had 6 shots on goal early in the second period. Yeah. They had 11 shots on goal. It's guys, and Dobish finally broke. He was not playing well. He wasn't seeing the puck. He completely collapsed. They had to pull him just for rest, so to speak, to let him clear his mind as the game went on. But I prefer, if you're Montreal, if you're the Canadians, you got your ass handed to you. And we all know how this ends for Buffalo all the time. And I brought it up on Saturday before the game. And I said, will it surprise anybody if Buffalo wins tonight and loses at home? Right? Montreal have been unable to do it at home, guys. They couldn't close Tampa out. Similar situation. They were up 3-2 on Tampa. They lost game 6 at home. They won game 7 on the road. They only had 9 shots on goal, but they won the game. You have to go back years. The Canadians have a really hard time closing series out at home for whatever reason. And the Montreal Canadiens really, really have been good off a loss this year in the playoffs. How good? They have a 5-0 record. They've outscored the opponent 19-9. Dobish has a save percentage of .911 coming off of a loss. The Canadians, Kevin, have been great. And Dobish himself is 18-2 this year off a loss. So the Canadians have been really good at responding. And now all the pressure's on Buffalo, Kevin. Let's not forget, Buffalo, you're the favorites. You're the one who won the division. Right? It feels like the Canadians are the ones that are blowing it somehow. The Canadians. You've noticed as just an observer from the point spreads, right? The odds makers kind of think that, it's the Canadians. Everybody online today, betting on the Canadians today. All the pressure's on the Sabres playing at home. It's not easy playing at home in these situations. And the Sabres are 1-6 in game 7s in franchise history.
I think some of the narrative around Montreal is not that they blew the series. It's they blew a 3-1 lead at home with a chance to close it out, right? I think that's why there's an eye put on them. I think it's one of those moments, obviously, some of the stuff I'm learning on the fly, but just the age of this Montreal core, they'll be back, but they'll remember, Gabe, if they don't break through here. That 3-1 lead.
It's a wasted opportunity. Yeah, wasted opportunity.
To get those, even if Carolina's going to smash everybody, which is what everyone thinks, just to get those reps in a conference finals, to feel that kind of atmosphere. But to me, the way I look at this, it does feel like if I can't say I'd be surprised based on how the number is, but everything I've heard about who this Sabres team is, losing this game would be surprising a bit to me. Like, you're at home with, it's the same thing with the series against Boston a bit, right? Where it was like, oh, they're going to close this out, and then they couldn't, right? And it's like, man, there's a lot of pressure. You better not let there be a game 7, and they didn't, kind of thing. Like, it was pretty gutty, Gabe, to be down 3-1 on the road, facing elimination against this team, and being able to force that game. Like, the Sabres, this is the strongest Sabre home line, I would argue, Gabe, of the series, maybe other than game number 1. Like, this is a spot Buffalo is supposed to get it done, in my eyes. When I look at these numbers, when I look at how this series has played out, the other interesting
look at the number,
thing,
Kevin. Look at the Canadians were -1, and I told you guys the other night when it was like -150, whatever it was. I said, all right, this thing is going to climb because everyone's going to take Montreal. They closed at -177 favorites.
Yeah,
Montreal on Saturday. -177. Right now, the Buffalo Sabres are -112. Canadians are -102. So, like, you see the discrepancy of the trust factor with the sports books they really buy into that Canadians hype, specifically when they play at home, but they've been a disaster at home. They're 2-4. They're 2-4 on their home ice, and so are the Buffalo Sabres guys in the playoffs this year. I'm telling you, you're better off being on the road in hockey. That's why they're staying in a hotel. Like, teams play better on the road in hockey. They just do. For whatever reason, they don't play well at home in the NHL.
The one interesting thing, and I'm not saying it means a ton, but there's been one under in this series. It was a win on the road for Buffalo. So if we get, Gabe, the classic 2-1, 2-0, 2-2 overtime game, does that in any way favor the Sabres?
That would shock me. I think it would favor the Canadians because that means Dobish is on top of his game. Like, that's a key. Like, the Canadians kind of need their goalie. Like, they're not good. That's why I said they're not good enough. Like, they need their goalie to help them a lot, Montreal. Like, they have a lot of defensive weaknesses, the Canadians. They give up a lot of scoring chances, and they've been lucky that their goalie is as good as he is. So he's a big X factor, but I'm amazed, Kevin, they made a 5.5. When you consider how high scoring this series has been, that they went right back to a 5.5 tonight. Can't believe it.
Yeah, they just consistently book Game 7s like they're Game 7s. They did it in the NBA the other night and kind of paid a price for it. We'll talk to Craig Mish about the baseball next.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget. Who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here, because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on Sports.
Game time decisions on SportsGrid. Craig Mish joins us right here on the grid. You can catch him on Newswire Monday through Friday, as well as holding it down on Pro Baseball Today with Dunning Rightside weekends here on SportsGrid. Craig, I wanted to do a quick awards update, a couple of things we've seen move a little bit. And one thing I wasn't sure if it would be a discussion, because I don't necessarily know how the rules of it all would work, but the odds tell me it is Don Mattingly actually winning Manager of the Year? As and listen, I don't know, what's coincidence, what is Donnie Baseball's doing, but the Phillies are piping hot with Mattingly taking over. I mean, could you see him winning Manager of the Year in the National League if this team finishes over? By the way, they're over 500 already.
Yeah, what's funny about that is that if it wasn't me sitting here and you asked the same question to Donnie, I know exactly what he would say. He would say, come on, you're crazy. I have nothing to do with this whatsoever. He would name for you like 3 managers ahead of him that would even have a chance, just who he is. And that just kind of tells you the scenario. But it's a very fair question because, simply put, the people who vote for this are on the outside looking in. And on the outside looking in, it is wins, it is losses, and the Philadelphia Phillies are playing very good baseball. So I definitely think that that's in play. I despite the payroll and despite who they are, I do think Craig Counsell this season is going to get some consideration if the team ends up winning the division and winning as many games as it looks like they could potentially win, 90, 95 games. No one, Dave Roberts is not going to win. Even they could win 100, he's not going to win. Padres, I don't really see it. And so, yeah, I think Donnie's got a great shot. But, Kevin, they got to win like 90, like 84 wins is not going to win Mattingly the Manager of the Year, I don't think.
Well, it's funny. He might have corrected it to your point. He might have corrected it too early. Like now at this point, going 83 and 79, you're already a game over 500. You got to right. It's really, really interesting. Another thing that kind of jumps out to me, Craig, and you and I had spoke about this very briefly a couple of weeks back, which was Cam Schlittler's spot as American League Cy Young favorite. And he has, I think, since shown that that's a lot more than just about being a Yankee. But what might be more interesting to me, Craig, is the idea that the Yankees can go into a postseason where they think, hey, we have like Cam Schlittler ball game number 1. That does seem like that could really shift things a little bit, I think, for the Yankees when we start talking postseason expectations. I don't know if I'm overstating it to you.
No, I think it's the same thing, though, with the Yankees. Like, I don't think that heading into the last several postseasons that pitching has been their issue. Maybe it hasn't been as good as it is this year, but it's this all or nothing approach that the Yankees have seemingly had, which 2 years ago worked for the first time in like 20 years. Like they got hot at the right time, Kevin. That's it. So their bats are going to have to get hot again at the right time, or it's not going to matter if Rodon is back and pitching well and Cole is back and pitching well. And who knows with Fried at this point. So, yeah, all those scenarios are still in play. Schlittler's case gets better, unfortunately, with his buddy Max Fried going on the injured list because it now puts a lot more attention and emphasis on him as well. But I don't think that the pitching – I think the pitching is good enough, but I don't think it's the main factor with the Yankees. The main factor with the Yankees is Judge and Stanton and Jazz and that offense and Bellinger. Are they going to hit enough? Are they going to score 4 or 5 runs in October? And we're still a long way from knowing that.
And I just, for me, because I think the answer to that is no, Craig, I think they've proven the answer to that is no.
It's been no thing, forever.
Yeah, it's been, right, exactly. The Schlittler thing becomes interesting because could the Yankees, again, I don't know if it's too much pressure on Cole coming back. Fried now is injured. But if the Yankees start a series with, in some order, Schlittler, Cole, Fried, does that actually lessen the, oh, great, they only have hit 2 solo shots, like type of thing? The other thing I'll quickly say, though, Craig, on the other side of it quickly, I actually think Aaron Judge is too big of a favorite. And I don't often say this to win American League MVP. I think this is the year Bobby Witt really pushes him. He got off to a slow start. He's been piping hot since mid-April.
Yeah, he may, but they're so bad. That's unfortunately shouldn't, but I think that could hurt Kansas
Good
City.
point.
It's a huge disappointing season thus far. Still a long way to go, but a lot of ground to make up for them. But you're absolutely right. With the last 30 days has been as good as any player in baseball. So I kind of understand, unfortunately, those odds with Judge more than I do Schlittler. I think somebody can catch Schlittler, and let's not forget, never thrown 200 innings in a season, never thrown 175, never thrown 150, never thrown 100. So let's just see that play out.
Yeah, pitching, the injuries impact that pitching market more than any awards market in all of sports, not just Major League Baseball. Craig, thank you. We appreciate it as always. We'll be right back here on SportsGrid.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired.
Nope.
One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget. Who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing, as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here. Because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions on a Monday night. So we took a look at the game number 7 between Buffalo and Montreal. We have a game number 1 in the Western Conference Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. And these two teams were the two best teams throughout the regular season. And many believe they were on a collision course this postseason. It's funny how, the roads were supposed to be a little different for these teams. The Thunder, it's like, oh, the Lakers, interesting matchup. No Luka, right? So okay, they haven't lost a game yet. The Spurs are like, well, guys, listen, Jokic, round 2, who get what? No Jokic. They play Minnesota. I'm not saying neither team doesn't deserve credit for being here, but I think it's easy to say both teams are going to whoa, for a moment within this game tonight, kind of okay, we're on a different level here tonight. And I'll just say, Gabe, and I think we may see this game a little bit differently. I love the Spurs in this spot. I think the Spurs have been chomping at the bit to play the Thunder in the postseason. I think their belief is incredibly strong, and I think they've proven they match up very, very well with this Thunder team.
I can't wait. I'm fascinated to see how it plays out, and I'm torn. I like both teams, Kevin. You know what I mean? I like betting on both teams. I like the players on both teams. I'm a big SGA fan. Lou Dort's from Montreal. There's a lot to like for me about Oklahoma City. I think they're good guys. I think they're cool dudes and stuff. And I'm a big Wembanyama fan. I'm a big Castle fan. I've always liked the Spurs. So, this collision course is just unbelievable. But with all that being stated, listen, one thing I think I brought up Wembanyama, and obviously it's kind of low-hanging fruit to say, he's caused them problems, but he's caused Chet Holmgren problems. Right? Chet Holmgren hasn't played well against San Antonio. So that's an X factor tonight. And we all know SGA's game is taking it into the paint, right? He can shoot, but let's be real. His game is taking it to the rack, getting to the free throw line. He operates in the paint. Not a lot of teams like to operate in the paint against San Antonio. It scares them. They don't want to go in there. It's too clogged up. Wemby's too big, and you can't get a clean shot off. So I don't think SGA is going to back off, though, Kevin. So I can't wait to see how it plays out. Because SGA is going to try to set the tone in game one here and get the fouls called and get the refs on his side like he does and just sort of like, I'm SGA, this is what I'm going to do. And will the outside shot fall for the Spurs? You and I, so how do you think it plays out? Because you and I talk about this all the time with Oklahoma City. And then these two-game packs, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So we have two games at home. I sort of think one of them's a blowout and one of them's close. And San Antonio goes home down 0-2.
So we've seen, we saw last year, Gabe, the 2 7-game series that they played. They lost game one in both of those series. I do think the Thunder know how good they are because they are that good. And I don't think they panic. Like, they're bringing Jalen Williams back tonight. And I think J-Dub's going to be good in this series when he's ready to go. Is that tonight? I'm not sure, right? I'm not betting J-Dub props in this game. Even if they look a little bit light, I don't know what it looks like ultimately. These guys are in a rhythm. AJ Mitchell's in a rhythm.
But Kevin, generally, and I like Mitchell's prop tonight. I like Mitchell prop tonight. Was it 12.5? Mm-hmm. But you and I have talked about this. Generally, when guys come back in the NBA, they're ready to go.
Sure.
Like if they weren't winning as easy as they were against the Lakers,
I think, Gabe.
He probably could have played. Let's be real. That's my point.
Yeah, I don't think that Jalen Williams, but Gabe, do you think Jalen Williams is playing 30 minutes tonight? The books don't.
No. But I'm not. I think they're good enough that they can, this is one team that can sort of ease guys in and out without causing any disruption. Right. And one thing I'll say, you said, listen, San Antonio have had this circled. I think Oklahoma City are the ones, though, Kevin, that are even more so. This is kind of a bigger game, I would say, in my opinion, game one for Oklahoma City tonight. San Antonio beat you 4 to 5 times you played this year.
Right.
You're only a 6.5-point favorite. Generally, you're a 16.5-point favorite, right? You're a 6.5-point favorite. Like, this is almost like the first team that people think, like, if I'm Oklahoma City, I'll be like, I would sell it like the big underdog type stuff, right? Even I would lie to the guys on the team. But if I was the coach, I would tell them, I was watching ESPN. They all picked the Spurs. And they all said, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're the underdogs here. Like, I'd, like, try to hammer it in their head that people don't really believe in you. They think Wembanyama is better than you. And, like, they beat us 4 to 5 times. But they did win 4 to 5 times. And I tell you what, Kevin, San Antonio wins tonight. That's going to start to snowball. You know NBA media and NBA fans are, oh, boy, this is it. SGA really wasn't all that good. The Lakers would have beaten them, blah, blah, blah. The games were close. This is a big game for Oklahoma City to set the tone, to remind San Antonio, you guys are good, but you're not as good as we are right now. To me, that's the way I look at it.
So, Gabe, it's interesting, right? I almost wonder then if I would be more inclined to bet the Thunder if you were coaching the team. But instead, I saw them do gift baskets and free watches and trench coats during an SGA MVP celebration, Gabe. Like, I'm telling you right now, I think the more pissed off team is the San Antonio Spurs.
So you're taking the Spurs in the series. Are you going on? No. Are you telling me you think no? Just tonight. Just tonight plus the points.
I have a little bit of money on the Spurs. I think the Thunder win in 7. Gabe, I have a little bit of money on the Spurs to win game 1, Thunder to win the series at 5-1. I always think that's a really intriguing option.
Yep.
Because the Thunder are still going to be favored to win the series even if they lose tonight, right? Minus 145,
I like that in the Super Bowl, Kevin. Just for the sake of it. Will the team that score first win? No. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. The other team scores first. I got plus 200 in my back pocket.
Field goal, right.
I don't mind that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think the Thunder win the series in 7. I think this is a long series, but also like 6.5, 7, like to me, it is a lot of points. I honestly think, Gabe, it's a lot of points. Like I almost feel as if you are laying the points, they do blow teams out, but for game number 1, you have to think the Thunder are comfortably the better basketball team than the Spurs. Like there's a real gap between these teams. It's just not a gap I've seen, Gabe.
There's levels to it, though, and I don't think the Oklahoma City Thunder were, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think their level of intensity was in December this year? 5, 6?
Yeah.
You watch NBA basketball every night, Kevin. There was a month run or so, 6-week run where they went through the motions. Let's call it off what it is.
But can I say this, Gabe?
And they were still winning.
They started the year 24-1, super dialed in, and then the Spurs ruined everything, right?
Yeah, the NBA Cup, the month of December kicked in, and yeah.
Yeah, and they couldn't kind of, like, that is, for everybody, for people to understand, they started the year 24-1. They then
I remember we were talking about, they're going to smash the Warriors record for sure. Like, everyone thought, they're going to win 78 games or something.
They were minus money to win 70 games. Like, honestly, I thought it was going to hurt Shea's MVP chances when they were only on pace to win 64. They went 24-1. They then lost to the Spurs 3 times in 12 days. Like, so that's
why I'm telling you. You're telling me there's no way in hell they don't remember that. Right, they're locked in on that. That is in their mind. That's why, to me, it's a bigger game for them. I mean, hell, San Antonio win this game. Oklahoma City have problems suddenly. I mean, let's be real. I don't want to overreact over one game, but San Antonio would still have the 3 home games in their back pocket, already have a game done. Oklahoma City loses home court advantage. This is a big game tonight, right? And I mean, listen, every game is big. It's the conference finals, right?
Yeah.
The question is, so let me ask you, do you think, and I like this Spurs team a lot. I really do. But I'm going to, we have to pick a side here. I'm going to say that Oklahoma City win both home games. I think they're going to win both home games and go back to San Antonio up 2-0.
Yeah, I think, Gabe, it's surprised is strong.
Now, do they cover is another question, right? But 6.5. It's not 16.5. It's 6.5. Like,
we bet against, and I know it's the regular season game, but we bet against these guys in the regular season, right? Like, they know how to win games. Like, they are the type of team who will win this game by 5, win this game by 4.
But they can't flick the switch like they do all the time. Oklahoma City often will sort of trade punches and then sort of say, we'll dial it up when we want to. We always see it. They're always tied, and then they go on a run.
They were losing at halftime in 3 of the games against the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying. And they kind of knew, we'll come back. But they can't play like that against the Spurs. They got to be intense from early on in the game.
Wake-up call could be coming. We'll get to the baseball board after the break. All right, baseball. Behind the scenes, couple of 640 starts for the guys. Mets money line for Chris, the red-hot, rejuvenated New York Mets. Miami, Gabe, is AJ's best bet tonight. The Marlins, you're on the other side of this one.
Give me the Atlanta Braves tonight in this baseball game. No respect whatsoever for a 32-win Atlanta Brave team, and I'm getting them in a pick'em against, like, who's on the hill here tonight for the Marlins, Kevin? Like Dontrell Willis in his prime? Like, who's pitching? Like, what? Seriously. Like,
you know what?
Like, all right. I mean, wow, all right, the Marlins. All right, you guys are thinking pretty highly of this kid. All right, give me the Atlanta Braves.
Can I just say something quick, Gabe? I think that this is an unfortunate one for the Marlins. We obviously like them here on this show. It took you an extra half second to come up with an old Marlin pitcher. Like yes, Gabe.
I was thinking of a good one. I was thinking.
Mark Burley, Roy Halladay, Tim Lindley.
You noticed. I was like, who is this? Dontrell Willis.
You're like, at that point, you know what I mean?
I wasn't going to say Alcantara. Alcantara's on the team, but I was like, you know what? I was thinking, I don't know, who else? Who's a good pitcher in Marlins history? Carl Pavano? Like...
You know what? There's just not enough Carl Pavano references on
you like
TV
that, a Carl
days.
Pavano drop.
Yeah. That's right in the reference where, like, I do remember. So
he was traded. Carl Pavano was actually traded from the Boston Red Sox to the Montreal Expos for Pedro Martinez.
Oh, all right.
He was part. Yeah, he was part of the Pedro Martinez deal. And what's wild is the first time Pedro Martinez came back to Montreal as a Boston Red Sox, he pitched against Carl Pavano. It was one of those you can't make up type of moments. And, of course, I loaded up on Pedro Martinez, and Carl Pavano pitched like a 1-0 gem shutout. Expos beat them. I'm sitting in the stadium like the crowd's going crazy. I'm like the only guy with money on Boston. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is great. We beat Pedro." I'm like, yeah, great. That was great.
Yeah. Let's move on. By the way, just for me on the baseball board, it's 6:45. You guys know how I am. Under 10 in Nats Mets. Look, I know the Nats play a lot of overs, but I'm not sure they have the right guys to hit Jake Irvin tonight. Christian Scott's good. I actually think he's an underrated arm on this Mets staff. I have it under in the Blue Jays-Yankees game as well at 9. Patrick Corbin's not been awful for Toronto as a pickup. Ryan Weathers has been about as good as people told me he was going to be, which is a little bit annoying. I know I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm not a Ryan Weathers guy. But he has been good for this ball club. Give me the over at Coors. I know everybody's focused on Cubs, Brewers, winds blowing out. Yeah, I'll take the old school 9.5 in Colorado with the Rockies and the Rangers, Quintana against Gore. And I did, Gabe, take a couple of money line shots here tonight. Padres, Giants, NL West style here. Again, I'm not saying Yamamoto is like it's a 3.6 ERA, right? But Michael King's been a bit better this year. Padres have been about as good as the Dodgers this season. At home, it's a good number. And then this one, I'm almost wondering, like, if I'm missing something. Robbie Ray is way better than Zach Gallen. So, to me, the Diamondbacks number is out of whack here tonight, despite being at home. I took a chance on the Giants game with Robbie Ray getting the baseball.
I'm going to take the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight, knowing the Dodgers. Listen, I have confidence in Yamamoto. Is he on top of his game now? No. But he also understands the importance of this game. It's a first-place matchup. They're in first place. Who's ever going to win this series is going to be in first place at the end of this series. And also, knowing the Dodgers, Kevin, they get up for San Diego. You can catch the Dodgers. The best time to bet against the Dodgers is like a weeknight game at home against like the Nationals or the Pirates or something, right? Like they're really, I'm telling you, like they'll often lose that Monday first game after they played the Braves. Like we saw, like we see there's a pattern of the Dodgers. They're very Oklahoma City-like. Like good teams have patterns, right? And they don't let up against San Diego. Like this is, everyone's going to be excited. Everyone's going to be focused. San Diego talk a lot of smack. The fans do their Beat LA chant and stuff. It's going to feel like a playoff game tonight. So give me the Dodgers in a big game tonight at -132 with first place on the line, coming in a half game up. And another big series. The Yankees have been a streaky team this year. They're streaking in the wrong direction right now, and the Blue Jays are sort of fighting for their lives. You know, the Blue Jays have had 1 million injuries. No excuses, but they had a lot of injuries. They haven't pulled out, but you'll notice they haven't like fallen completely apart yet either. Like they're sort of like they're hanging on. And like it has to, every time you think, man, all right, it looks like they're kind of turning a little bit of a corner here. Like that grand slam was big for them last week. You know what I mean? They nearly got swept by the Rays and stuff. So they're 5-5 in their last 10. They have played well at Yankee Stadium in the past. It's a toss-up to me, Kevin, and I'm getting plus 145. Corbin's been pretty good. Like, listen, Corbin, he's given up 2-3 runs. He's not going to pitch a shutout. He's going to give him 5. He's going to give up 2 or 3. Can the Jays offense score tonight? But at plus 145, it has my interest.
Gabe, there was something I wanted to ask you about with the Padres-Dodgers series. A player you know well from, obviously, I mean, he's a superstar, but, you know, he's a big part of, you mentioned when San Diego upset the Dodgers all those years back, Fernando Tatis was a big part of it. Yeah. Listen, baseball, it's a long season. Things sneak by you. Gabe, you're online as anybody, so maybe you saw this before I did. Did you know Fernando Tatis didn't have a single home run yet this season? Because I did not know that until today.
It's yeah, you know what? I caught on to this about 10 days ago or so.
Okay.
Because I didn't, about 2 weeks ago or so. 10, but yes, he still does not have a home run.
Right. So, Gabe,
would you say 232?
Would you say
I know he's
going to
have a big year, Kevin, coming into the year.
I agree with you completely. I really did as well. To me, Tatis, if he's healthy, he's one of your top 12 hitters in baseball. And he's supposedly healthy. Like
the fact that they're in first place or only a half game out has mirrored it, I think, kind of, right? It's sort of like Ohtani earlier. Right? The Dodgers are struggling and be like, oh, God, Ohtani hasn't hit a home run in 11 games, and they're not winning. But they're in first place. So San Diego's having a really good year. They're having a really good year. Which, if I'm San Diego, I've got to think, well, damn, man, we're in first place. Well, we're a playoff team. Let's say, okay, we're battling for first place, but we're a playoff team, and our best player is hitting 232 with 0 home runs. He's got to come together at some point.
Yeah. I think he's pretty interesting. Like, we talk about this occasionally with an Ohtani, with a Judge, like, hey, I'm just going to play Tatis for a home run. Next, they're home for 9 straight games. Like, Tatis is getting me a home run somewhere.
He's never hit, I'm looking now, he's never hit a home run. He's only got 10 at-bats against Yamamoto. He's got 10 at-bats, got 3 hits. 3 hits, but 1 double, 2 singles. Nothing, no power. He hasn't hit a home run.
It's 0 home runs is...
That's incredible.
Like, 0. Like, it doesn't even make any... Like, Bobby Witt had no home runs for like 2 weeks. He has 7. By the way, like it just doesn't make any sense at all. We'll get all the picks after the break on SportsGrid. All right, guys, game time decisions. It's not going to show up on the graphic. I just kind of added it in. I was trying to figure out what to do because Gabe, we were talking WNBA earlier. Gabe mentioned, I don't know if I trust Dallas laying the points. I tend to agree. I do like the spot for them. The totals dropped enough. I played a Wings team total, 87.5 here. Like, they just played 2 home games against Atlanta and Minnesota. Those are good, grinded out defensive teams here. Look, awesome start for the Mystics to the season. Their only losses in overtime to the Liberty, right? They got to be super happy with how they've come out of this campaign. But Dallas off a loss, 2 straight at home, should be really fired up, Gabe, in this spot. I don't mind Paige Becker's props either. I don't know if you're on the W card tonight. Only 2 games.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in, and obviously I'll jump in on some Paige Becker's props. And let's see the updated number right now. So 19.5 to get to 20. I'll take Paige to get to 20. They played 3 games. She got 20, 15, and 27. She knows she needs to be aggressive. Yep. And what about Enrique tonight? What happened the other night, Kevin? Why did she get stuck at 6?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Gabe. I'm not so sure. I don't know if it was foul trouble.
She played.
I don't know if it was she was having a bad night. Right?
Yeah, the minutes. She played like 32 minutes or something.
Yeah, I know Paige had a monster fourth quarter.
Because the game was going on during the hockey. So I was watching, I had her, and I kept on checking. I'm like, 6. She's stuck at 6.
Yeah.
And they got called out by the coach, right? Also, the coach said, you're the most selfish team that I've ever seen. So
that's why I like the team total, because he's an offensive guy, right, Gabe? So to me, his fix tonight is let's get back to 100, right? The way they did in the opening night.
Yeah, get the ball flowing around and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the Fever losing another game over the weekend, Kevin? A high scoring game. Caitlin, I told you, man. Remember, but I told you I got in on it too. Thank God.
Oh, did you? You played the 3s? Yeah.
Yeah. She hit like 6 or 7 of them, right? I said, guys, she's hit 1 3 all year. She's Caitlin Clark. This isn't going to continue. It's like Fernando Tatis. Like, right. She was bombs away. Like, she started hitting a butt. But I can't lie. It killed me. I did a same game parlay, Kevin, because I was like, they're going to win. She's going to go over
with the win.
Let me do it. So I did the double. I was like, it's easy money. And Gabe, I'm laughing early. I'm like, she goes way over, and then they lose. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Gabe, I did the same thing.
It was like you gave up 104 points. Yeah, you did the same thing. I'm like, you can't make this up.
I took her to make 2. Their money line with the Sparks late night against the Tempo, that first game. Great win by the Tempo, by the way, in that wraparound. But she made 2 within the first 5 minutes. I went, we're off and running here. This is easy. I'm like, what's going on? They forced overtime. But she started getting going a little bit. I was watching that one, too.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? Maybe she can hit a 3 to send us to overtime. She does. Yeah. Right? And you still lose. I'm like, God. Like, come on.
I know.
Got to play a little defense. I mean, you've lost 2 home games this year because you gave up 100+ in both of them.
It is a little wild. Also, and I'm not betting this game tonight. I'll just say quickly, the Connecticut Sun looks set up to be maybe the worst team in the history of this league. Like, the Portland Fire, I know they've shown some guts. To be a 3.5-point favorite over the Sun. Like, Brittany Griner is already injured, and I don't think she's super interested in being on this team, to be totally honest.
They're tough at home.
Fire or pass for me, Gabe. I'm not – like, this Connecticut team's 0-4, Gabe, and this is supposed to be the, like, get-right game. You know what I mean? Like, we're playing Portland. Like, no. Like, Portland's going to get right against you kind of thing. Like, it varies there a little bit. All right, let me let you get to your card here tonight. It's a Monday night, big games. What's on your slate?
All right, listen, we talked about the Atlanta Braves already, so that game's off and running. Blue Jays, it's the price that interests me here. Sometimes I'll bet a game because of the number. I do think it's a toss-up. The Blue Jays do get really fired up for the Yankees. Yankees struggling right now. I'm waiting for this Jays team to sort of go on a little bit of a run. Plus 143, it's enough to get my interest. LA Dodgers, anytime we get them at minus 130, we're going to do it. I trust Yamamoto. They get fired up also for San Diego. Montreal and Buffalo. Listen, I'm going to take Montreal. They did this same thing against Tampa where they lost Game 6 at home. They were up 3-2 in a series. They went on the road. They won. The Buffalo Sabres are 1-6 in franchise history in Game 7s. Being a Bill fan, I know the pain of Buffalo sports fans. I almost predicted this. I said the Canadians will choke on Saturday and win on Monday. Here we are. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going big. It's a toss-up. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a toss-up. So I'm betting the Canadians and just sort of going to kick back and watch the game. And speaking of toss-ups, man, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to lay the 6.5 and hope for the best. I got a lot more prayer plops that I'll post on X, etc. as well, Kevin. Oh, we're going to take the Wembanyama over 12.5. Rebounds. You know, we've been doing it every game, but a couple of others that we'll add after. What do you got?
Yeah, so I like the Spurs +7 tonight. I really do believe that they will hang in this game, if not win it outright. Listen, I'll be honest. I actually played a little -5.5 for San Antonio in case they really get this thing going. You can get that around like +350, 4-1 type of situation. You know me and my baseball totals. I feel like we're in a little bit of a groove here. Under 10 in the Mets game, under 9 in the Jays game, over in that Rockies game, Padres Giants on the money line. Yarnell with a Jason Zucker point. Sabres, Canadians.
Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. It's a Monday. No better way to start your week here for the next half hour. Different look and a different approach, we should say, from sportsbooks over to the prediction markets, which can have some gems. As we brought up last week, you want to take some points props out there to pay 4 and 5 to 1. They got your advantages there. Or if you just want to invest some money in here,